Broadcasting Network. I'll be your host today. My name is Troy. This is CUBN News. You can get in contact with us at www.cubnlive.com. Alright, a Pledge of Allegiance waiver. Maybe this is a part of America's problem. You know, we are getting issues that are beyond issues with wars and rumors of wars. And we, for some mysterious reason, got time for this kind of crap. A Pledge of Allegiance waiver? What? Come on, people. Stop changing America's laws and just deal with America itself. Help out the poor. Help out all the people that need help. Come on, people. Bring back companies and organizations back to the United States. Make our nation great again. Amen to that. We have a lot of American values and traditions that seem to be whittling away. Editor's note: when I was in public elementary school, we began every morning with the Pledge of Allegiance and then sang "My Country 'Tis of Thee." Before starting the classes, I remember there was something about facing the flag with my hand on my heart, reciting the pledge that gave a certain feeling of pride for my country and thankfulness to be a part of it. It was the beginning of a spirit of patriotism for the very unique and diverse USA. I think the pledge is an important part of learning to care about this country as a citizen, how it came to be, and the desire to see it thrive in the future. And I personally think losing it would be a mistake, perhaps a larger one thing we might imagine. Amy Heard, BCN. You know, people, I want to believe that what they're trying to do is benefit the whole world. When they have to understand that the whole world is fine the way they're at. They may need a little bit of leadership in those areas, right? But you see, when you have a great country, and the great country decides to follow their values and to follow what they believe in, that right there makes the country great. If you change it around, and you put in different cultures and different people in there, and it mixes everything up, you get a lot of dispute. You get a lot of negative feelings. You get a lot of negative cultures. You get a lot of bad people. And things happen in the country. Then you get war. And then people fight against other people. People kill each other. And then you have anarchy. And then it goes beyond what it goes on. America's a strong country. We got a lot of military out there that fought for this country. Died for this country. Made it to what it is now. The American flag should be something we look upon as the memories of those fallen soldiers. Fallen Americans that fought for this country. If you burn a flag out there, then those are the things that you have to think about in your life. Think about how many people you're burning in those graves. How many people you are just totally lighting on fire in those graves. Those people aren't dead in those graves. Those people are still alive, waiting for Jesus. And if they see that you burn a flag, it really hurts their soul. And deep down inside, you know that what you're doing is wrong. You know when you grab a match or lighter and you light that flag, you will notice that you will get burned by that flame. You may not understand or even notice you got that little burnt mark on your finger. That is payback for what you're doing. Just remember that. Those people still alive in those graves. They just be waiting and sleeping and waiting for the time to come. Jesus comes and takes us. You understand that. I was immediately shocked by it. Mr. Brennan of Bonita Springs, Florida told me. I thought it was a fake, but the text message was not a fake. It was real deal. It was the real deal. It was a Pledge of Allegiance waiver from his niece's public school in Tallahassee. I understand my rights as a parent, and I request that my child noted above be accused from reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. This request includes standing and placing his or her right hand over his or her heart. His sister-in-law returned the form to the school with the following message. This is the dumbest thing I have ever read, and I am so ashamed of this. Now, people, you gotta understand. Like I said, there's a lot of different cultures coming to the United States of America. Since this is a free nation, what's going to happen is they're going to look at the culture that America's doing, and they ain't going to understand on what actually it all means. It's confusing to them because they're not taught that way. So now they just come out and shoot out all these things because that's just the way they're grown up to understand things in life. Come on, people. Look at the big picture. His sister-in-law is probably the most smartest person I've ever heard of. Comes out and says that this is the dumbest thing I've ever read, and I am so ashamed of this. Amen to that. We should bring out a form that specifies the dumbest things that the United States of American leaders had did. And that is what we do. We don't hate the country. We don't hate the flag. We just hate the people running it. Alright? And we should not produce hate. Right? This ain't no hate speech. This is love speech here. That's right. Now, Mr. Brennan is not one to post political stuff on his social networking pages. But when he saw the Pledge of Allegiance waiver, he could not resist. I thought it was definitely something that needed to be out on social media, he told me. Give me that waiver. I will sign the damn waiver saying that is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. He posted an image of the waiver on Facebook and wrote the following. My niece brought this home from school today. What is happening to our country? His message took off faster than Michael Phillips in a kiddie pool. And late yesterday, it landed on my desk. I believe it's another stop in the progressive political movement to destroy the education system. Mr. Brennan told me, we have a lot of American values and traditions that seem to be whittling away. That's true, but you might be surprised to learn who was ultimately responsible for the waiver. It wasn't far-left Democrats, it was Republicans. Now you have to understand that there's a lot of Democrats and a lot of Republicans. That is just a word of sets up, divides different types of styles of thinking towards what people think. We are one human being, flesh and blood. Alright? Republican and Democrat. It's just a thinking point. You can do what you want with that. If you're a Democrat, you can do whatever you want with being a Democrat. If you're a Republican, you can do whatever you want. It's a freedom of speech, freedom of everything. Alright? Don't look at it as being Republican, being all Republicans are like that, or Democrats as Democrats are all like that. That is totally not true. That is not true in the sense. If you're a Democrat, be a Democrat. If you're a Republican, be a Republican. Fight for what you... If you're a Democrat and you see somebody comes inside in your situation and you think that they shouldn't even be there, well, speak your mind. Control the narrative within you being that Democrat. Control the narrative with you being that Republican. Control it. That's what we are here for. It's a free country. Freedom of speech. That's what we do. We talk out loud. Sing it out loud. Praise Jesus. This is a response to a Florida law voted on by Florida legislature and signed by Governor Rick Scott. Said Chris Paisley, the spokesman of Leon County Schools. Specifically, he was referring to Florida Statute 1003.44. That law dictates to all school districts in Florida that each student shall be informed by a written notice published in the student handbook or a similar publication pursuant to S.1006.07. Number 2. That the student has the right not to participate in any reciting the pledge. In other words, don't blame Leon County Schools. We are required to comply with the law, he replied. Republicans signed off on that. Folks, Republicans, Lord Almighty, that's like finding a hair on a biscuit. Mr. Brennan, who voted for Governor Scott, said he still opposes the pledge waiver. If we don't make a stand now, we might not have a pledge of allegiance in the school, he said. What's next? Removing the flags? It's only the beginning. Florida's Pledge of Allegiance waiver should not come as a surprise to readers of this column. I've long documented the attack on patriotism in our public school systems. Won't be long before kids will need a notary public before they can sign the national anthem or wave Old Glory. You have to sign something if they want to say it. George Washington is probably looking down from heaven, shaking his head and wondering, I crossed the Delaware for this? Come on, people. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand this. Like I said again, there's a lot of cultures coming into the United States that don't understand what we went through to make this a free state. They don't know what happened. They need to be taught. Alright? They need to be in their heads. They don't know why you put your hand on your heart and talk to a flag. They look at that as the most stupidest thing they ever saw. Why they gotta stand up in class and put their hand on their heart and talk to a flag? They look at that and think to themselves, what the heck am I doing? I don't need to be doing. Mommy. Well, they make us put a hand on our heart and talk to a flag. And what the mommy says, what the heck is going on? Why are you doing that? That makes no sense. Is that a code? See, those little babies, they don't understand any of that. They need the schools to start teaching the history. Teach them why they do that. What's the reasons? Talk to the parents, especially the newcomers to the state. The newcomers to the state should actually go through a process of learning all these things. It seems like none of these students are learning any of this from the parents. And it seems like the parents don't even know any of this. So the venting system that they always talk about should be included with the men that fight for this country and died for this country. That should be on top of the list. It's the reason why we do things in America. Instead, they want to fight over it and get rid of it to satisfy needs for other countries. This country was only built on one thing, or one thing only, and that was God. Until they get rid of God in this country, that's when this whole country would go to hell. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all need to pray, and pray hard. The stronger you pray, you'll notice that things change in your neighborhood in a good way. The less you pray, the less things get better in your neighborhood, and you start seeing a lot of crap like this happen. In Jesus' name, Lord have mercy.